Listen to me, everything you've been told about men and love is a lie. You might believe men fall in love because of beauty, but that's not the case. You might think it's because of sex, but that's still wrong. It's not because of effort either. No, men don't fall in love just because they sleep with you, and they don't fall in love just because you're always around proving your worth. Men fall in love when they feel something they can't experience anywhere else. Let me say that again. Men fall in love when a woman makes them feel something they can't find in the world. It's not validation. It's not desperation. It's not control. It's a force so rare it shakes them. A man falls in love when he sees you as the one person who truly makes him feel understood but not chased, desired but not smothered. He falls in love when he knows deep down in his gut that you're a woman who could walk away if he doesn't show up completely. Because here's the truth, men don't value what's handed to them on a silver platter. They value what they have to earn. A man falls in love when he realizes you're not like the rest. You're not sitting by the phone waiting. You're not begging for attention. You're in your own world, thriving, living, growing. And that's when he wakes up. That's when he notices what's in front of him. That's when he falls. Because love isn't about being everything to a man. It's about being the one thing he's afraid to lose. Now, are you that woman, or are you still playing small? Men don't fall in love the way you might think they do. They don't fall in love just because you're beautiful. They don't fall in love just because you're always there, answering their calls, making them feel important. They don't even fall in love because you give them everything they want. That's the lie you've been told. That's the illusion that's keeping you stuck, confused, and wondering why he pulls away, why he loses interest, why he doesn't feel the same way you do. A man falls in love when he feels something he can't find anywhere else. It's not validation, comfort, or control. He falls in love when he experiences an emotion so deep, so electrifying that it shakes him. It's a force bigger than logic, bigger than attraction, bigger than anything he understands. It's not a choice, it's an instinct. Everywhere he goes, the world is filled with expectations. Be successful, be strong, be the provider, be the man. So he moves through life wearing a mask, hiding his truth, playing the role the world expects him to play. He meets women who adore him, admire him, and try to prove they're worthy of his love. And still something is missing. Something feels off. He can't explain it. He can't put it into words. But then one day he meets a woman who doesn't just see him, she makes him feel. It's not because she gives him attention. It's not because she flatters him. It's not because she follows all the rules of how to make a man love you. It's because in her presence something awakens in him. A depth he's forgotten. A hunger he didn't know existed. She makes him feel seen, but not in a way that makes him comfortable. She makes him question himself. She challenges him without even trying. She moves through life with a force so undeniable that he has no choice but to notice. And that moment when his world shifts, when something inside him stirs, that's when a man begins to fall. You see, love isn't about logic. It's not about effort. It's not about checking all the right boxes. Love, real love, is about emotional impact. A man could have the most beautiful, devoted woman in the world and still not fall, not because she isn't enough, but because she doesn't trigger the depth of emotion he needs to feel that pull, that fire, that undeniable knowing that he can't let her go. When a man falls in love, it's not because he decides to love her. It's because something inside of him doesn't give him a choice. When he's with her, the world feels different. The air feels different. The silence feels different. He is different, and he doesn't even understand why. He just knows he needs more of it. But here's the harsh truth. Most women never get to that point. Not because they aren't amazing, but because they're too busy trying to be what they think a man wants. They play by the rules. They shrink themselves. They say the right things. They overgive. They overcommit. They overexplain. They try to love him into loving them. And in doing so, they strip away the very thing that would make him fall. A man does not fall in love with a woman who hands him her soul on a silver platter. He doesn't fall in love with convenience. He doesn't fall in love with predictability. He falls in love with the one thing he can't control, the one thing he can't explain, the one thing he knows deep in his bones he will never find again. And that woman she doesn't chase. She doesn't beg. She doesn't need to prove anything. She is the experience. She is the storm. She is the moment he realizes he is no longer in control. And when that happens, he will do anything to make sure he never loses her. A man does not value what comes too easily. He does not cherish what he didn't have to fight for. If you hand him your love on a silver platter, if you bend over backward to prove your worth, if you rearrange your life just to fit into his, he won't see it as a blessing. He'll see it as something that costs him nothing. And anything that costs nothing is taken for granted. Think about it. The things people value most in life, the things they fight for, bleed for, sweat for, are the things they had to earn. Success, respect, power, even love. When something is handed to you without effort, it loses its significance. That's human nature. And men, they're wired to pursue, to chase, to conquer. That's not just some cliche. It's biology, it's psychology, it's reality. A man doesn't truly fall for the woman who's always available, always giving, always proving. He falls for the woman who makes him step up, who makes him realize that if he doesn't show up completely, he could lose her. That's the woman who makes his heart race. That's the woman who makes him rethink everything. Because here's the truth nobody tells you: when you give too much, too soon, too easily, you strip away the very thing that makes a man desire you. It's not because he's cruel. It's not because he wants to hurt you. It's because he is wired to value what he has to work for. If he doesn't have to earn your love, your time, your presence, he won't feel the same intensity for you. And I know what you're thinking. But I'm just being kind. I'm just showing him I care. I just want to make him happy. That's the mistake, because in your mind, love means giving. Love means effort. Love means showing up fully. But in a man's mind, love means something different. It means wanting. It means pursuing. It means feeling like he might lose you if he doesn't give you his all. So many women think they have to do more, be more, give more to make a man love them. They think if they just show him how amazing they are, he'll wake up one day and realize he's in love. But that's not how it works. A man doesn't fall in love with effort. He falls in love with the feeling that he might lose something he deeply desires. Look around at the relationships that last, the love that is unbreakable, the women who are cherished beyond words. They are not the women who gave everything away for free. They are the women who made a man rise to the occasion, who made him show up, who made him prove to himself and to her that he was willing to go all in. Because when a man has to earn you, he sees you differently. You are not just another option. You are not just another woman who's there for convenience. You're the rare jewel, the one thing he knows he can never replace. That is what makes a man stay, not guilt, not obligation, not comfort, but the deep, undeniable understanding that you are valuable. He had to fight to have you, and that fight is what makes him treasure you. When a man fights for something, when he invests in it, when he has to step up and give his best, that's when he values it. That's when he keeps it close, ensuring that with everything in him, he never loses it. A man doesn't fall for the woman who needs him. He falls for the woman who doesn't need him. The woman who is so full of life and love, so consumed by her own passions, so deeply rooted in who she is, that his presence is a privilege, not a requirement. The woman who walks into a room and owns it not because she's trying, but because her energy is undeniable. The woman who doesn't seek approval, doesn't beg for attention, doesn't shrink herself just to fit into his world, she is the woman who captures his heart. Men don't chase women who are simply standing still, waiting to be chosen. They chase the women who are already in motion, already moving towards something bigger than love itself. A man sees a woman who is independent, thriving, so complete within herself, and he feels something rare: respect. That respect turns into admiration, and that admiration turns into desire. That desire, that's what makes him fall. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Love is not about filling a void. It's not about curing loneliness. It's not about needing someone to complete you. A man doesn't want to be your savior. He doesn't want to be the reason you exist. He doesn't fall for the woman who makes him her whole world. He falls for the woman who has a world of her own. That world is what makes her magnetic. That world is what makes him crave her. And that's where many women go wrong. They meet a man, they start liking him, and suddenly everything revolves around him. Their schedule bends for him, their time revolves around him, their happiness depends on him. At first he might enjoy it. He might even soak it up. But deep down something shifts. The excitement fades. The challenge disappears. The energy that drew him in is gone, because he no longer feels like he's stepping into something extraordinary. He feels like he's being handed something that takes no effort, no risk. A man doesn't value what's handed to him freely. He values what he has to work for. A woman who is confident, independent, and completely in love with her own life, that's the woman he knows he has to earn. She's not waiting by the phone. She's not hoping for his attention. She's not desperate for his love. She's a woman who could walk away if he doesn't show up as the man she deserves. That realization, that's what makes him step up. That's what makes him put in the effort. That's what makes him look at her and think, I can't lose this. Because men don't fall in love with women they can have without effort. They fall in love with women who make them better, who make them chase, who make them rise to a higher standard. And when a woman has that energy, that unshakable confidence, that presence that says, I am enough with or without you, a man has no choice but to see her differently. She is not an option. She is not a temporary thrill. She is not replaceable. She is the rarest thing he's ever encountered. And the thought of losing her, that's what makes him fall. He knows deep in his soul that a woman like her doesn't come twice. A man doesn't fall in love because you love him. He doesn't fall in love because you give him your time, your body, your loyalty. He doesn't fall in love because you're always there, always available, always ready to do whatever it takes to make him happy. A man falls in love when he realizes deep in his gut that you are the one thing he cannot afford to lose. The moment that fear hits him, when he understands that you are not a woman who waits, who begs, who pleads, that's when everything changes. Because here's the brutal truth. A man doesn't commit to something he isn't afraid to lose. If he knows you will always be there no matter what, if he knows you will always forgive, always compromise, always stay, even when he gives you the bare minimum, he will never give you his all. Not because he's a bad person, not because he doesn't care, but because human nature doesn't work that way. We do not cherish what we think will always be there. We cherish what we know is rare, what we know could slip through our fingers if we don't hold on tight. And that's where many women get it wrong. They think being irreplaceable means being the most loving, the most giving, the most understanding. They think if they show him unconditional love, he'll wake up one day and realize she's the best thing that ever happened to him. But that's not how it works. A man doesn't fall in love with comfort. He falls in love with the fear of losing something extraordinary. He falls in love when he knows without a doubt that if he doesn't step up, if he doesn't give his best, you won't stick around just because you love him. He has to feel that his place in your life is not guaranteed. He has to feel that if he stops showing up, if he stops putting in the effort, if he starts treating you like an afterthought, you will not wait for him to wake up. He has to know that you are not a woman who tolerates half love, half effort, or half commitment. That realization shakes a man. It wakes him up. It makes him see you in a way he's never seen any woman before, not as a convenience, not as someone who is just there, but as a force he cannot afford to lose. A man does not fall in love with a woman who sacrifices herself for him. He falls in love with the woman who knows her worth so deeply that she refuses to settle for anything less than a man who is all in. The woman who knows that love is not about waiting, not about hoping, not about proving. Love is about mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual desire. The woman who understands that the right man will never put her in a position where she has to beg for his time, his affection, or his commitment. And that's where the power lies, not in trying to be good enough for him, not in proving that you're the perfect one, not in doing everything right. The power is in being the woman who chooses herself first, the woman who knows walking away is always an option, the woman who doesn't cling to a man who won't fight for her. Because when a man sees that, when he feels that, when he knows you are a woman who will not lower her standards just to keep him around, he has no choice but to step up. He has no choice but to fall. Because the truth is, men don't fall in love with women who stay no matter what. They fall in love with the women they can't imagine their life without, the women they respect, the women they know they have to work for, the women who don't just give their love away, but make sure it's being received by a man who deserves it. That's what makes a man afraid to lose you, and that fear is what makes him love you in a way he's never loved before.